right now, this is the second, do I say, I can't say session, but this is the fourth session. This is the second part of the whole thing. After lunch, second part. Joey will be taking over. So there are more people who need to watch what he's doing. There are people who come specifically for retouching. So now I want you to just go online, just 60 seconds. Go online and then just send it. Like, have you posted the live stream link? It's in those of you in the WhatsApp group. Just copy the link and then share it. Let people know that that's where we are now. So that help somebody. Let them come online and then watch it. So just do that, 60 seconds. Then we'll come back to the yeah, you don't subscribe. And then just go to the live stream and then like it. Just like it. So that YouTube will broadcast.
What do we get for this?
This one? Yes, the sandbag.
What sandbag?
The canvas and the
canvas. Don't worry, canvas will do another giveaway.
Okay. And
then we'll do it. Now we'll do it online. We'll do it online. You see, there is more of this coming up. We'll do more live streams. You know, sometimes we won't call it guys, we just do it online so that you just watch it from wherever you are. You don't need to pick it up. No, we're not done yet. So are we done? Have you shared the stream? Just let people know so that anywhere, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Alright, so let's come back here. Two more things to be won. The sandbags. How many of you shoot like outdoor on location with strobes and all that? But if you win this and you don't shoot outdoor, you might not have the need for it. It's not a bag. See, it's not a bag. It's a sandbag. Bag. You can't wear this on your neck.
That is new.
Provision.
If you go to gym,
okay, so she said her Instagram handle is photo leather. So photo and then leather. Like photographer and leather. So photo leather. It's made of leather. So you won't tear quick. The leather, which animal? Synthetic. Otherwise, I would have said you're not conserving the but it's okay. It's synthetic, so it's good. At least she's not killing an animal. So there are two. One person. Kodu Asiru, not you. You get double eyes. Our lady in the corner. Be quiet,
break my heart.
So, our first winner for where are the bags? There they are, okay. The rice master is. So, please come. Point it at the camera.
The rice master.
You are the rice master.
Of the rice.
Can the camera see?
Hold on. Okay.
Mention it.
You'd agree.
You'd agree. Hey! You just got yourself a sandbag. I beg, don't hang it on your neck. So come for it. They are here, so just come pick it up. Please, come and present. Leather photo. Or photo leather. So just present it. Which color do you like? Blue, eh? Which color? Blue or which one? Blue. Okay.
You check your ID.
No, let's see your ID. Confirmed. All right. Okay, so first winner of the photo leather sandbag. Okay, second person. Who will give us the winner for the second person? Why you all scared? I'll pick it myself.
Pick that in
You can't be fast.
Okay,
Vince. So Vince.
Grandpa.
We'll do that very soon. Yes, so just pick one. And then when you do it, show it to the camera. Let the camera decide. You get down?
You take your
Yes.
Alright, so mention the name.
Dennis Minta. Michael Donko.
Michael Donko. Michael Donko. If you are here, you know I beg, confirmed.
Yes.
Is it Ghana card? It's qualified. But we've not started using Ghana card.
No. Brother, you've not started using it.
No, if you take it to the bank,
But still, it's not
they will bounce you.
So first one came out, and no one used it for
Okay, so Michael don't go.
Then I'll protest this first guy. Because the brother
So one participant decided to sponsor one bag. The third tall guy who was sitting there, Andrew, decided to buy one and give out. So because of that, we have one more bag to give away. So we need a fifth person to come and pick. We need one more person to come and draw. So anybody, let's just, in the next 60 seconds, I should be out of here. Why? What is your name comes?
My name is Wayne.
Disqualified. Okay, so show it to the camera. Hey, no, you get down?
Hold on.
Hold on. You get down, man?
Okay.
Okay.
The name.
Right.
What's this?
So who's are you? Yes, skipping.
Raphael.
Who want to skip?
Raphael. I'm one.
Ralph. I want two people to vouch for him if he's the one.
Oh, why not?
That is all.
No, they are all family members.
Okay, all right, so. Relax, smile for the camera. Why there?
Oh, wow.
No, they're left.
But Uncle Party, so Uncle Party.
We left to go fight last week.
I'm sorry.
The left game coach.
Okay, so we are good. Why are you pulling current? One handshake. Okay, so guys, thank you very much. If you need the sandbag, please. I think she does school bag and all that also. So you can just see her. Yeah, you can just see her for all that. So thank you for coming. We are moving to the last session of the day, which is retouching. We have Joey Dutch here to take us through. So it's going to be two. One, the standard retouch and the high-end retouch. So yes, we are done for the giveaway. So Joey, take over.
Hello guys. What's up? Alright, so I'm here to take you guys through how to softly edit pictures and highly edit pictures. Most of you want to know how to highly edit pictures, but I'm really concerned about just softly editing the pictures and we're done. So I will really waste time softly editing the pictures. Mates, get with them. Alright,
So guys, have fun.
Alright, so for those who don't know me, I'm Joey Dutch, and that's my YouTube page. If you're wondering, whatever it is that I do here, if you don't get them, just go to my YouTube page. Most of them are there. I have an hour-long video for retouching, for those who want to go and watch. That being said, let's get to what we have to do today. I retouch with CaptureOne. I don't like Lightroom. Reason being, CaptureOne processes raw images better than Lightroom. I would want to show you the difference, but I don't have enough time on that, so I'll just go to CaptureOne and do everything there. Right. I hope I wouldn't get any problem or any questions from you guys. I would literally tell you everything I do. Everything. No, I won't hide anything. No. Yeah. Alright. I'm a beauty photographer and I normally like shooting with one light because I started shooting studio photography with just one light and I tried mastering one light. And I think I'm good at where I am, where I find myself actually. So today's shoot, I purposely told Pixel to shoot one light, but I saw a whole lot of lights set up. So that being in mind, I would tackle what we shot here today, but with an in-depth retouch, and I'll go to one of the images I've shot with one light. I hope you guys don't mind. Alright. Using Canon to shoot, right? Canon has this problem with reds in it. If you're using Fujifilm, also has a bit of the red problem, but it's kind of milder than that of Canon. Nikon, you don't really see the difference. And today I'll put it straight on live that I hate all Nikon cameras except D750 above. They are the best cameras to use. Aside D750 and above, any Nikon camera below D750 is a shit camera. Oh yes, I am responsible. Come in attack me. So with Canon cameras, whether 5D Mark IV, 5D Mark III, any Canon camera you know has a red problem. And in CaptureOne brings that problem out a lot because when I send this to Lightroom will turn this image to yellow. But let me see a whole lot of yellows in this image. But here in CaptureOne tries to preserve your images as you saw them on the camera when you were shooting, right? So concerning this image, this particular image was shot with one light setup, as you guys saw. ISO 100, shutter speed 1/100, f9 with a 100mm lens. And I think the flash power was around 1/8, I'm not sure. But this image is kind of an example when you're trying to shoot any meal or corporate event, should I say corporate pictures for, let's say, any meal you're trying to shoot. One light is the best and it should always be dramatic. So this kind of lighting setup I really like because it's dramatic. I don't really have to do a lot of work here. All I have to just fix the patches on the face, take out blemishes, a little dodge and bend, and I'm good to go. No high-end retouching. I hope you guys get it. So with this image, since there are a whole lot of rest in it, I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing here. This is actually better. So I hope you guys know how to use CaptureOne. Because if I start scratch, right from scratch, it will take a lot of time. Do you want me to start? Then this one, one more.
Go on.
So in CaptureOne, there are 3 tabs I use in CaptureOne: the exposure tab, the color tab, and the details tab. I always take out my sharpness from my images. Because most of the time I'm shooting f13, f12, f10, f11. I have a whole lot of details to work with. But if it's, let's say, full pictures, still f13 has a lot of details in it. Maybe I shoot outdoor. Outdoor, you don't really need to shoot f5, f4, f3. Mostly, I know most of you shoot f2.8, f2, and you would have to keep the sharpness in when you're shooting f2 or f2.2, f2.8. But in the studio, with me personally, since there are a whole lot of details in the picture already, I'll take away the sharpness. So, but the sharpness in it, this is what CaptureOne is giving me. I didn't touch anything yet. So let me just reset everything. This is after shooting the image in CaptureOne. This is the amount of sharpness it gives, 180, right? Normally, I don't keep it here. I just take everything away. I want it as subtle as it is, so that if I want to add texture, I'll add it personally. If I want to sharpen the image, I'll sharpen the image personally. That being said, I'll go to my color tab. And in the color tab, you get to see all these layers in it. I'm using CaptureOne Pro 12. So if you don't have, if you want to use any CaptureOne, please get a better machine to use CaptureOne. Because if you use the old types of machines, I don't think CaptureOne will work on your machine. So CaptureOne Pro 12 has all these there. Right. I'll go into my color editor. I'll try and compare this and Lightroom. So in Lightroom, you guys realize there's a color tab, HSL tab, where there's reds, yellows, and greens. There's hue, saturation, and lightness. So in CaptureOne, this is my hue, saturation, and lightness. You see the hue here, you see the saturation here, and you see my lightness over there. And it gives me each and every different color in the image. So when I tap on view selected color range and I go to purple, you guys can see the purple in the outfit, right? I hit blue, and then there are blue in the images, in the image, it takes away every color except for blue. If there's any cyan in it, you obviously see the cyan in there. If there are any greens in it, yes. Any yellows. Most of the time, the human skin is composed of reds and yellows. Combining those two colors gives you oranges. So in Lightroom, when you touch your orange slider, you realize when you touch the saturation slider on the orange color selected, you realize your skin becomes weird. Either you're increasing it or reducing the saturation, it depends on what you do. So in CaptureOne, they don't give you the option of orange. It's just red and yellow. But you see this pale over here, I can extend this section or this sector, whatever it is in circumference, this sector, and I've tackled a bit of the reds in the image. You realize I have reds in there, I have yellows in there, and in between the reds and the yellows, this is the orange, right? Let me just reset this. The yellows in the image is what's being shown there. I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm saying. And these are the reds. And you realize the reds are too much. Reason being the Canon gives too much redness to your image. So I normally take out my reds. This is me taking out the reds, and you realize this is how the image will look like. So I start right from 0 or minus 80, as you see here, and I push it up to, let's say, go back. Normally, I don't really push it too much for you to see the change. You're trying to edit the image to see some changes, but you don't really have to edit it to perfection. You get it? I'm more of a natural retoucher than faking everything there. If there's a whole lot of blemishes on your face, I see blemishes as something that can be fixed even if you go for face surgery. But let's say a scar, fine, you can fix a scar on your skin or on your face for face surgery, but that defines who you are. You get it? So I don't expect anyone to seek out a scar when you see it on someone's face. I take out the rest, and I think minus 5.5 is okay for me. I don't know if you guys are seeing it. Let me see. This is. Yeah. You can see what I'm seeing. So minus 9.5 or minus 5.5, minus 6.8, in between the ranges of 10 is cool. So minus 6.8 is okay for me. Normally I take out my rating on every image I edit, depending on the model skin or the kind of camera I use. With Sony doesn't give you that much of redness. It actually gives you what you are seeing. What you see is what you get with Sony cameras. And I normally grade my images before I go to Photoshop. So that all I do in Photoshop is skin retouching, and I come back. And if there are any further things I have to do, I just come back to CaptureOne and fix them again. So with this, the color balance. The color balance is the best tool to use when grading. And you realize there's the shadow wheel, there's the mid-tone, and there's the highlights. You don't have this option in Lightroom. And one perk of using CaptureOne is you can create multiple layers and work on the layers. And with such layers, you can even reduce the opacity, just like Photoshop. So I want to grade this image before I send it into Photoshop. I don't want to grade it on the background layer, so I'll create a new filled layer. I tap and hold on the last line you see there, and there's a new filled layer. When I turn on the max, you get to see this mask shows the whole layer is filled. Now let me delete this and create a new empty layer. I am turning on the max, which is holding M on my keyboard, but you don't see anything there. And when I brush, you realize, so there's an empty layer and there's a new filled layer, right? So when I want to grade, there's a new filled layer I use. Turn on the mask and I play around with this color wheel, the shadow, the midtones, and the highlights. Looking at this image, there are too many shadows and highlights. So whatever I do here will be too drastic. You get to realize that. Yeah. And you should keep in mind the colors you are working with. Looking at this image, we shot on the brown background. Yeah, we shot on the brown background, right? Brown normally works with the brown color is complemented best with green, if you've noticed. So let me try adding some greens into the shadows. And see how this changes. So let me increase the greens and then we reduce it. So this is without the greens and this is with the greens. Green complements brown a lot. So you should know which colors complement each other. Normally, when I have, let's say, a yellow outfit, I'm looking at a brown skinned girl. When I have red, I'm looking at a very dark skinned girl. When I have white, I'm looking at a very, very, very dark skinned model. You get it? So you should know the kind of colors that go with what you are editing. I think I'll do more in Photoshop for you guys to see what I'm talking about. But here, this is what I'll do to the shadows. And with my highlights, there's not too much highlighting here. Let me see. Yeah. There's not too much highlighting there because it's kind of very soft. Let me get so apparently all the pictures are soft highlighted areas. So in the highlights, I normally like adding cyan to the highlights. Cyan normally works with fair-skinned models. It tones down their yellowness and it brings out how light-skinned they are. You get it? So if you really want to bring out someone's color, who he or she is a light-skinned model, just try adding cyan to the skin color and reduce the opacity. So in everything, you guys should have this in mind. In everything I do, I would try reducing the opacity. I never keep my opacity as 100, maybe except to dodging and bending. But anything else apart from dodging and bending and if you get separation, everything gets reduced. So after this, I'll add some warmth into the midtones. Then I think I'm good. All I'll do now is just reduce the opacity. Create a new variant. This is our before, and this is our after. Can you guys see any difference? So this has too much rest, and this is toned down with the rest, and there's a bit of grading to this. So when you guys go like, oh, how did you grade this image? How did you grade this image? It's not really something hectic. All you have to do is know the colors you're working with, right? If you know the colors you're working with, it's very simple. Just look for the complementary color, add it to the picture, know where you are adding the color to. So the color balance, since it's separated, you get to choose where to add the color you want to the picture. So with this, I was trying to add greens into my shadows. I can choose to add greens into the highlights depending on what I want. You get it? But I chose to add greens into my shadows because this image is composed mostly of shadows than highlights. And for a moody portrait like this, it's actually okay. I can boost up the shadows, but I'll leave it this way. I added greens into my shadows, cyan into my highlights, and some warmth into the midtones. So color correction really has to do with what you think is good to your eye. And it's always good to have how should I put this, a library of pictures, so that you feed your eyes or your brains with a lot of creative pictures, a lot of good pictures, so that whenever you see a particular picture, you know, oh, this is a good image, this is a bad image. If you keep on feeding your eyes with, excuse me to say, amateur pictures, you realize whenever you see a slightly good image than yours, you be like, oh, this is better, but you get to realize you shot it better than the person you're trying to say, oh, this person's image is nicer or not. So all you have to do is keep on feeding your mindset or your eyesight with good images and good colors and all that. And you yourself, when you sit down and take your own image, you know where to put the particular colors you want. So with this, now we are about to fix the lights. So this is just soft edits in CaptureOne. The level tab. This part of the level tab is more blacks, and this is the white, and in between the blacks and whites is gray, and gray most of the time is the midtones. So in CaptureOne, I mostly push in my whites. I don't touch the exposure enough. I really don't like touching my exposure. What I will use for the exposure is moving in my white, and the image brightens up. But you should know the limit to pushing in your white. I can choose to move in the exposure, and this is what I get. I don't want the background to be lit. I want to keep the background as moody as possible. So I'll leave it this way and just push in my white. And you realize there's lights being introduced into the image, but the background stays as moody as possible compared to when I push in my exposure. So if this image wasn't as shadowy as it is, I would have pushed in my blacks too. But when I push in the blacks, this is what I get. Right, so looking at the curve over here, I wouldn't touch anything on the black side. The only way, if I want to touch anything on the black side, is move this curve up, right, and now move in the blacks. And this is how it will look, sorry. When I move the curves up this way, the RGB curve up this way, I've taken out a whole lot of blacks from the image. So it becomes faded. And if I want to introduce blacks, realize I'm going back to the previous image as you guys saw it. So this is the only time you introduce blacks. You only introduce blacks when you have this kind of image. Most when you're shooting against the sun, you realize you get this faded look over your image. And if you want it to look contrasty, just add blacks to your image. And this is what you will get. Reset this, and this is where we are. I can boost up my shadows, right? But like I said, I want to keep it as smooth as possible. So I wouldn't send it all the way up this way. I'll just keep it here. 5. And there are not enough highlights in the picture. So whatever I do to the highlights slider, nothing happens. This is okay for me. I can send this to Photoshop if I have to do any further retouching, then I just send it to the client. So this is the minimal edit you do in CaptureOne or in Lightroom. Whatever I did here concerning the whites and the blacks, there are whites and black sliders in Lightroom too. You get it? So all you have to do is just know your way around how to fix your images in CaptureOne and Lightroom. And whatever I did that you do in Photoshop will complement what you did in CaptureOne. So I can choose to send this to Photoshop, I can choose to send this to the client, and I'm good to go. But let me do further light editing in Photoshop and we'll see how this image will turn out. Alright, click, edit with Photoshop CC2019. When you're using CaptureOne, always edit in TIFF format. The TIFF format keeps a whole lot of information in the picture and it actually helps with colors too. When you use the PSD format, it takes away some of the colors you saw in CaptureOne or in Lightroom. So always edit your pictures in TIFF. I don't know if you guys, yeah.
When you save in TIFF, the file size becomes
Yes, because it's saving all the information you have in the image. The PSD file sometimes reduces the image's quality. Not necessarily quality, but you're looking at keeping every information you have there in the picture. You get it? The PSD reduces that quality for you. Although it's a raw file, it kind of reduces that quality. But the TIFF keeps everything needed. Any questions so far? Yeah, okay, so vibrance in CaptureOne is this saturation slider. And the saturation slider in CaptureOne is the one here, this last one. And the color editor, this last slider over here. This is the saturation slider in CaptureOne. And the one you see here is a vibrance slider in CaptureOne. I hope you guys get it. Yes. I'm not looking at a faded image. I'm not looking at, yes. So, how moody the picture is. Most of it, I don't really like shooting with too many lights because it takes away how nice or how moody the picture will be. You get it? Shadows also make up an image. People are always looking at taking away all the shadows in their images, and I normally don't understand why. I have a friend who edits this picture and push this thing up this way. And I don't know why I'll edit this picture this way. Clients. So I guess you guys were here when Catalyst was talking about business and all that. The clients hit you up because he or she saw what it is on your page. You get it? They would want something in their mind. But when you give them what you have on your page, they normally keep quiet and worry. I sometimes give them the opportunity to change the edit twice. So the first time I send it over, oh, do this, do that, do that. The second time, then that's it. No more edits. You get it? Yes. So give them the option. This and that. If this is what the client wants, let the client use it. Go back to using this. You get it? Alright. So this is me Photoshop. I use a Wacom tablet. If you guys are wondering, this is a Wacom tablet. There are other versions. There's Beyond, there's some other ones I don't really know. But get a Wacom tablet, it really helps. What I normally do here in Photoshop, the first thing I always do in Photoshop is to take out blemishes. I zoom in into my image. Let me show you what I mean. So this has to go. That's these small patches. This straight line there has to go, right? I have 3 ways of removing blemishes in Photoshop. The first thing you have to do is just duplicate your background layer. Never work on the background layer when you're retouching. Always duplicate your background layer. That is only if your machine is very fast enough. Some people use very slow machines where when they duplicate their layers, you know when you duplicate your layers, your memory size increases. Yes, your document size increases. So the more RAM you have and the more space you have, the more duplicated file layers you can have. But if you don't have that, whenever you duplicate and you do whatever it is you have to do, please merge it and move on. Yes. So I always work on a duplicated layer and rename this to healing or blemish removal, however you rename it to. There are 3 tools you can use. There's the spot healing brush, there's the healing brush, and there's the patch tool. I don't like using the spots, neither the patch tool. I mostly work with the healing brush. It's slow. I like slow stuff. It's very, very slow, but it's actually non-destructive than the patch tool and the spot healing brush. With the patch tool, the only time I get to use the patch tool is when, let's say, I don't have anything laid out here. The only time I get to use the patch tool is when I have, let's say, the blemish I have to remove is in the blurred part of the image. You get it? That's only when I get to use the patch tool, because the healing brush tool, you have to sample and clean. It's more like the clone stamp tool, but the non-destructive form of the clone stamp tool is the healing brush tool. I hope you guys get it. If I should use the healing brush tool in the blurred area, it wouldn't really take out the blemish I want to take out. But if I use the patch tool in the blurred area, it takes it out very easily, because I don't really have to concern myself with the details I have to keep over there. I hope you guys understand. Yeah. So I use the healing brush tool. You hold Alt on your keyboard, right? And you sample. Never sample far away from where you want to clean. So this is the blemish I want to clear. I sample close to the blemish, then I take it off. You get it? So close to the blemish, and I take it off. And it's always good to use a smaller brush size. Never use a larger brush size. This is what happens when you use a larger brush size. You get to see it. It's not realistic now. Now everyone knows I took off something there. So I'll do smaller brush size. Sample, clean, sample, clean, sample, clean. So with this, there's not enough texture for me to be careful about what I'm removing. So I can choose to use the patch tool now. If I was to be editing beauty photography where I shot too close to the model, I have to be careful of which textures I'm taking off. You get it? So with this, I can just never move it far away, closer to where it is before. So I think I'm good with this. Mostly people after this, people will do frequency separation. I don't see why I'm supposed to do frequency separation to this. It's a guy. It's only the ladies who have problems. It's only the ladies who have problems with skin smoothing. You get it? Some don't want to see their pores. Some want their face as plastic as possible. I don't see why you should have your face as plastic as possible. So with this, the next thing I'll do is dodging and bending. It's as simple as that. From here, I use the curve adjustment in dodging and bending. Dodge is to introduce light, bend is to take away light. So dodge, highlight, bend, shadows. So you dodge your highlights, you bend your shadows. There's another logic. You dodge your shadows, you bend your highlights. That's micro dodging and bending. So there's a local dodging and bending, the global one, the one we all know, dodging your highlights, bending your shadows. And there's a micro dodging and bending, where you dodge your shadows, you bend your highlights. So let's do the global dodging and bending, then we'll do the micro dodging and bending. And the other name for the micro dodging and bending is corrective dodging and bending. Need to correct the skin tones on the image. Right. So with that, I'll use curves adjustment. This is my curve adjustment layer. When I move the curve up this way, you realize there's light being introduced to the image. When I move it down this way, it takes away the light. So I move it up to this distance, then I rename this to what? Dodge. I will invert this layer from black, from white to black. Right. Then I take another curve adjustment and reduce this. So this point, I invert this, rename this to bend. I normally edit with just dodging and bend. It takes a lot of time. So I duplicate just 2 layers like 3 or 4 times. Yes, it's scary. Let me just duplicate it just 1 time, then group this 2, group that 2. Global DMV and micro DMV. Let's just leave it there. So let's play around this global dodging and bend. People normally want to, when you're trying to dodge and bend, right? The colors are mostly a problem. It kind of distracts your attention where to dodge and where to bend. So what you have to do is what? Change it from color to what? Black and white. So all you see is black and white. The more black the place is, you just paint over with white to make the place look nice or brighten up the image. And there are several ways to turn your image into black and white. There are advisable ways to turn your image to black and white, and there's a normal way I know you all know. You just pick up your black and white adjustments. This is what you get. I don't advise anybody to use this kind of black and white because with this, I can manipulate my reds, right? I can manipulate my yellows, my greens, my blues, whatever it is, whatever color in the image, I can manipulate them. This is not advisable. What I would advise someone to use is go to your adjustments layer. There's a solid color option. You can see there, right? And with the brightness, hits 50%. So it gives you 50% gray. So there's hue, saturation, and brightness. HSB. What do you know as HSL? HSL, L, which is a B, brightness. Either you put here 50 or just locate it here. Normally, I know you guys already have your color selected, and this will be somewhere here. So just try and target the middle gray over there. In between white and black is gray. Either you manually go select the green or just put in 50. And that gives you this bright. And with this, I'll change the blending mode from normal to color. And you realize it's going to black and white. This is the perfect black and white to use when you're dodging and bending because you can't manipulate any colors. It's 50% gray. When you are shooting, right, and you are concerned about color correction, all you have to look for, get a color palette with a gray color in it. You hit on that gray color and you realize your temperature is fixed for your color correction is fixed. So in photography, the gray color is more like the god in editing. So 50% gray, turn that from normal to color, and you have your black and white. This image is as dramatic as possible. So on a normal day, I would have added the curve adjustment and reduced the brightness in it. So this and this works hand in hand. And that will be my helper. Because it's helping me edit the picture to get it. So it helps me to retouch whatever it is that I'm retouching. But since the image is as smooth as possible, let me take out the curves. And this is what I have. So the black and white with the other black and white. Now I'll target the dodge. When I zoom into his face, you realize on his face, this is where the highlighted areas are. So I'm trying to circle where the highlighted areas will be. That, this side of the cheek, somewhere here, and the chin. Maybe his color will because he's skinny. And on the outfit, this side, they're all highlighted. Let me change this to white. And shadowing, more shadow, shadow. Underneath the lips, the chin, this side. So basically, there's also a shadowy part. Right. When you apply frequency separation to it, what frequency separation does to your image is it flattens your image. And how to bring back that three-dimensional feel to your images to use dodging and bending. So you know what? Let me just do frequency separation to this. So I wouldn't go through the process of creating that frequency separation. There's an action. It's always easy to get. FX3, I can give it to you here right now when I'm done, or you can download it from FX3. Simple frequency separation, that's everything I need. And with this image, let me zoom out. This is not a close-up image, right? So the Gaussian blur of 14, I wouldn't use Gaussian blur of 14. I'll start from 5, and I'll zoom into the face. It blurs out as much as possible the things I want to hide in the image, right? So 5 is an ideal number for this kind of images, this far off image. I know people who use 2, some people use 4, some people even use 10. I don't know which details you want to keep in the image, but 5 for this kind of image is ideal. I'm not saying stick to using 5. Work around the Gaussian blur you think is good for you, then you're good to go. On a normal day, when I'm trying to retouch an image with frequency separation, I can go like 5 times on just frequency separation. The first one doesn't work for me, I delete it. The second one doesn't work, I delete it. The third doesn't work, I delete it. What you see online is not what you see when the person is sitting behind the laptop. Just me. People take a whole lot of time to edit one picture. And they come and post online and say, oh, they do this and that and that and that. And they think it's easy. Just it's not that easy. So 5. And I've edited these kind of images to know that 5 works for me. So I already know this 5 works. Someone who has been editing this and is good at it will know, okay, I'll stick with 4. Someone will just stick with 6 and all that. I hope you guys get me. Is there any question I need to answer?
So what would be the range if you're doing a
Closer. When I'm using frequency separation.
range, not specific.
Let me give you an example. So, something like this. I'll go as high as 25. Something like this. If I should use frequency separation, I'll go as high as 25. Yes.
There isn't.
I want to keep it as natural as possible. You realize there are some images when the person edits, it looks edited, but it's natural. You see the skin texture to be as neat as possible and all that. And you realize some images too, when the person retouches the picture, you realize, oh, they've worked on the skin. And it looks as fake as possible. And it's in the system. And people keep on doing it. And we keep on uploading them. You get it? So it depends on what's your preference. It depends on what you want. You get it? Yes. Let me turn off this. Resume. Right. One advantage of using the Wacom tablet is that it deals with sensitivity, pressure sensitivity. With the mouse, when I should apply the mixer brush to it and I stroke, I give a stroke. It goes with, let's say, the hardest pressure, right? With the Wacom tablet, I choose to give the pressure I want to the image. So I can be doing something here, and you'll be thinking I'm adding enough pressure, but I'm not really adding enough pressure here. I don't know how to explain that with the Wacom tablet. But whenever I get a Wacom tablet, always fix your brush settings. So with a normal paintbrush, go to Window, Window brush settings, and this is what you get. Turn on your shape dynamics. Change this from, it will be somewhere else, not pen pressure. Change this from whatever it is to pen pressure. Everything to pen pressure, because what I'm using a Wacom tablet. When I go to my mixer brush settings, it's the same thing. Pen pressure, pen pressure, pen pressure. And you realize how the brush is. See how soft the brush is? Yes. Always work with a soft brush. When I right click on my ebook, you want the brush settings? Let's see. Yeah. So shape dynamics and transfer. So there has to be, that's for transfer. When I turn this off and turn that off, you see how the brush changes. So with retouching images, you are looking at building on what it is you are retouching, right? You don't really, it's not really that easy where you just give one brush stroke and you think you're done, you're good to go. You have to build on what you are editing. So if I should take one stroke over here, I will obviously come back and give another stroke to it because I want to build on it. I don't want to just give one stroke and I'm done and have to move to another place. It doesn't really perfect the image, right? So let me take this back to you. Pen pressure, and I have a soft brush. Always work with a soft brush, not a hard brush. A really, really soft brush. And with my mixer brush settings, turn this off. Always this has to be turned off too, for those who haven't used mixer brush before. I know people use just lasso tool for frequency separation and they are done. But with this mixer brush, you're not really sampling any colors. This is always turned on when you're sampling colors, but we don't really need to sample colors. We just need to bring some colors from, or some lights from some parts of the image to other parts of the image. Like, I want to bring this highlight maybe here. That is what we are using the mixer brush for. So I'll turn off this style, and because I'm using a Wacom tablet, like I keep on saying, I'm using a width of 20, low 20, mix. You're not mixing any colors. I don't really care the amount here. The flow, I like using 10. Flow, it depends on what you want. If you want to stroke that particular side of the image 5 times to get what you want, or just twice, I can choose to turn it to 50. And all I have to do is just stroke it twice and I'm good to go. But I want to build on what it is I'm editing, right? So I keep my flow at 10. It's my personal preference. You can change it depending on how fast you want your retouching process to be. So these are the settings I use. And never edit an image as close as this, because this is not how you post it on Instagram or any other social media you're expecting anybody to see. I can work this way because I have been retouching images for quite some time, so I know what I am looking at. But ideally, I'm supposed to edit this way, thinking that this is how I will post it on Instagram, and that's how anybody will see it. And with frequency separation, the action I'm talking about, it gives you the option of simple frequency separation and advanced frequency separation. This is what it gives for the simple frequency separation. And with the frequency separation, you see, when I started with the background, I was like, I'll duplicate my layer before I start healing. So I'll do same for the frequency separation. I'll duplicate the low frequency, which is where the color play is all about, right? The high frequency is all about the texture. Low frequency is all about the color. So I'll duplicate this, and I'll hold Alt on my keyboard in between the two layers, and I'll clip it on it. So you realize this arrow sign going down here. Yes, that shows you've clipped the upper layer to the down. So whatever it is I do here gets affected. But when I make a mistake on this layer, all I have to do is delete this, and I'll just duplicate this again. The whole point of this is to not go back to recreate the frequency separation action again. But since it's an action, you can delete the whole thing and go back. It's time efficient, whatever it is that works for you. So I'll pick my mixer brush. First thing I'll do is target my highlights. Keep in mind, you're working with highlights and shadows. Don't move your shadows into your highlights, nor move your highlights into your shadows. But there's always a rule breaker. I would want to clear this small patch over here, right? The only thing I can do is to move the lights I took from here, there. So this is the before and after. So let me just start over again, duplicate that. I want to clear, you should have in mind, you are trying to smoothen the image, but keep the light as even as possible on the subject. So, and the ability to realize the mistakes in the picture also helps. So with this, I have an issue. I have an issue around this side of the face, this side, because I see some dark patches over here, this side of his face, that, and this area. You don't really have to smoothen the whole face. You're just fixing some patches on the face. Depending on the model's face, if the model's face is as smooth as possible, fine, fix some patches. If the model's face is, I didn't say anything, fix the whole image. Right. I'm not on record on this one. I said I didn't say anything. Okay, so with this, I would want to fix this small patch over here. Right. I move, you realize I'm not moving from the highlights into the shadows. I can do that, right? But it won't help the surrounding shadowy area. So where I am in the shadows, I try to what? Move that light into where I want to fix. And you realize you don't really see that much of a difference, but that blemish has been taken off, right? Any questions so far? Right. So let me zoom out. I'll keep my shadow and then my shadow. And when I get to where the shadow meets the highlights, that's where the midtones are. Where the shadow meets the highlights. In between the shadow and the highlights is the midtones. I'll keep it there that way. And you realize I keep on increasing and decreasing my brush size, right? Depending on the area I'm working at, I'll increase the brush size or I'll decrease it, depending on the area I'm working at. So I'm working on just this area, and I think this brush size is cool for me. So I'll keep it here, the same thing. So this is the before and after. You still see the blemish there, but it's not as it is when you apply the frequency separation. You get it? So this is how the mixer brush is supposed to be used. I really didn't apply enough pressure there, and I fixed it. It's still natural. You see it to be natural, not that way. You still have your textures over there, not plastic enough, and your blemish is fixed. So from here, if you still want to keep on fixing this dark patches over here, you can keep on using the mixer brush to do this. But the more you apply the frequency separation, the more fake it becomes. So what I'm seeing there, I just keep it that way, and I'll use what's dodging and bending to fix that. You get it? So your frequency separation will flatten the image. Now I have a flat image. Let's just focus on the forehead. I have a flat image. Right? From 3D dimensional to flat. You get it? So you use the dodging and bending to bring back the 3D dimension in the image. So let me just quickly brush to this side. Just go. If you have any question, you can ask me. Mint. I'm not asking you anything. Alright, so this is me fixing, and I think I like what I'm seeing here. So before and after, it's subtle. There are changes in there, but it's close to as we shot the image. So this is the before, that's the after. And I know you people want to use the lasso too. So after this is the mixer brush. This is what I have in mind. The mixer brush, I just use that to fix the light patches on the model's face. Whoever it is I'm shooting, I use that to fix the light patches. And if I want to smoothen it more, not to the plastic version, smoothen it to make the skin look as smooth as possible. Some brides want their skin to look smooth but natural. Yes. So pick the lasso with a feather of 10. Please use 10. This one I'm on record by force. Use 10. Don't use any other number again. 10. Right? Okay, relax. 10. I don't circle the whole forehead. No, that's lazy work. I don't know where you're in a hurry to. Relax. Pick the shadowy side, just like that with the mixer brush. Let's work at the shadow section, work at the highlight section, in between the highlights and the shadows. We do all that. You get it? And everything becomes as perfect as possible. So, the shadow, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Normally, when I'm done using the mixer brush and I want to use the lasso together with the mixer brush, the Gaussian blur figure I use half of what I started with. So with the 5, I'll go 2.5. Right? And that doesn't mean I'll apply it just once. So at that side, I can apply it again and again. And I think I'm okay with that. So sample this side, filter. There's a shortcut for me, Alt Control F. So now I want to smoothen the midtone. I want to smoothen the transition from highlights into midtones, right? So I'll sample in between the highlights and the midtone. This is where the shadow meets the highlights, or the highlights meet the shadow. Smoothing that side. Pick this side too. Smoothing it. This side. Smoothing it. This side too. And I think that side. So this is the whole frequency separation before and after. Before and after. I have applied frequency separation. You can see the difference, but it's close to being natural. So please, when you leave here today, even if you don't think anything at all, please pick this. You get it? Don't make it too plastic. We are tired. We are all tired. So keep it as natural as possible. The whole point of photoshopping somebody is to make the person look rich. Boniska. Yes. So now, frequency separation is out of the way. I'll come back to dodging and bending. With dodging and bending, you know how the max works, right? Paint white on black, it reveals. Paint black on white, it conceals. Yeah, before. Alright, so with the dodging and bending tool, I showed you guys how to create the dodging and bending layer. You use the brush. There's a tool here. Yeah, there's a dodge tool, bend tool. That's not what we are using. Since you want to paint white on black, we use what? The brush tool. And with the brush tool, like I said, building up. We build up what we are retouching. You don't just stroke once, then you are good to go. You build up. So I'll move my flow from 100 to 2. Now let me show you what it does. Let me tell you, max black. This is a flow of 100. Opacity 100, flow 100. And I take one stroke, this is what I get. This is with my hardest pressure sensitivity. This is what I get. When I move the flow from 100 to 50, the same brush stroke. You see how soft it is? It is. Sorry. You see the difference? So the whole point of the flow here is to, the number of times you brush will determine how strong the dodge will be. So with this 50% flow, when I add the other stroke, now it becomes whole because it's 50% makes it 100, right? When I send this to 2, how many times do I have to paint to get the 100%?
50 times.
Exactly. So I build up what my painting process or stroking process till it gets to 50 times and I get that 100% flow. So having this in mind, you realize this side
That's if they use mouse.
yes, that's the problem. With mouse, the pressure sensitivity not so well.
Yeah.
So when I'm using mouse, use 1% flow. Wait, when you're using the mouse, use 1% flow. So I want you to bring your attention to this. You realize this part of the forehead is, and this part is darker than this part. You know that. And with the highlight, you realize this is more brighter than this part. You guys have that in mind, right? So let me just delete this and come back to this. Flow 2. So global dodging and bending, like I said, dodge your highlights, bend your shadows. I can't fix anything with global dodging and bending. All I'll do is bend my highlight, dodge my highlights. Wherever I see any highlights, I dodge, and I'll pick the bend my shadows. So this is the before and after. It's that subtle. If you want to apply more, you stroke more, you get it. So the whole point of global dodging and bending, when I turn on the mask, you realize the forehead, the cheek, the nose, and some patches on the skin. This is the bend, the side of the forehead, the side of the nose, the cheekbone, underneath the chin, and we are good to go. So that's the whole point on global dodging and bending. Let me reset all this and send it out. So with the micro dodging and bending, don't run away. Micro, yes, it's small, but the important thing is that it's not really difficult. So let me change it from micro to corrective dodging and bending. That way you know it's not micro dodging and bending. That's where I'm done. Turning on the mask. So you hold Alt on the keyboard and you tap on the mask. and this is what you get. So, and you hold Alt on the keyboard again, and tap on the mouse, and it comes back to you. Good. Do you have any question?
Concerning the micro
Corrective dodging and bending.
you have that on your YouTube.
Yes. I have a 45-minute video on that.
I'm not sure if I can digest it.
Alright, so with the corrective dodging and bending, earlier I circled 2 points of the highlight to show you the part which was darker and the part which was brighter. Alright, so with this, let's target the shadowy part. The corrective dodging and bending, right? With the dodge, this time around, we are dodging the shadows. We are not bending the shadows. Don't confuse yourself, please be safe. Global dodging and bending, you dodge highlights, you bend shadows. That one is common everywhere. You go to heaven and come back to earth, it's still the same. You bend your shadows, you bend your shadows, you dodge your highlights. With corrective dodging and bending, or micro dodging and bending, or whatever name you call it so that it doesn't scare you off, you dodge your shadows and you bend your highlights. Am I making sense? Please, am I making sense?
Yeah.
I mean, am I making sense? Alright, so with the corrective dodging and bending, I would want to soften my shadows. This shadow is too drastic for me, I don't like it. So with flow of 2, opacity 100, white on black. And just relax. Fix this out. So let me turn this off before and after. We are still in my shadows, but you realize it's not as shadowy as it was, right? So this is the before and after. Keeping it colored might worry you, so just turn on your black and white. And let's try and fix this, that, and that, and that. Alright, so please take a look at this. So this is the before and after.
Sweet.
Before and after. Am I giving you the details you want, Spence? Where is the other guy who was attacking? He's going to the so no more attacks. Mint, you're the only one. Are you getting the details you want? Is there high end enough for you?
It's not.
Is it? Alright, so I just want to take you through this. So this, I use this to soften the shadow in there, right? And the bend for the corrective dodging and bending, all I have to do is, I want to soften this highlighted area there. So just tone it down, tone this side down. So this is the before and after. Before, let you guys are seeing the difference, before and after. Alright, so basically, I wouldn't have done figure separation for this gentleman. He's a guy, there's no need. Right, so this is what high-end retouching is all about. When I'm editing, I grade my pictures in CaptureOne, or if I'm using Lightroom, I grade the pictures in Lightroom before I come to Photoshop. So Photoshop, this is all I am about in Photoshop. Dodging and bending, like 5 layers, fix it and I'm good to go. Figure separation when the client is annoying, I'll fix it and I'm good to go. So Now let's go to the female version. So, wait, do you guys have any question on this? Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'll save it as PSG, then we'll give it out, and you continue from here. Alright. So yes please.
Do we have a copy of
The ones we shot here, yes. The female version I'm going to no. Okay? Because I'm not going to use this, I'm going to use this is one light. We shot this with one light. The same one light I used in shooting
So we'll get a roll
let's finish. The same one light I used in shooting this.
The same might stop.
F8, yes, he used F8, right? Same f-stop, same ISO, same shutter speed, same flash power, trust me. Oh, yes, this was Sony. Sony. What's the difference? Alright, Mint. This is the high end you want. Alright, so with Sony, no need to fix any redness in this image. But if you want to find, yeah, welcome to fix any red in this. But me personally, I don't have to fix any red in this. All I'll do is push in my white, right? This time around, I'll attach contrast. I like my image more contrasty, like what we editing. Pushing the contrast a bit, moving the shadows so that I can get details in the outfit. I can choose to push in more, right? When I push in my shadows, I reduce my brightness. I don't want it to look too HDR. I hate HDR images where you can shoot against the sun and the model will be dark, then you bring out the details in the shadows. It looks too fake for me. So with this, I'll reduce my brightness and it comes back to being normal. I think the whites are too much. I reduce it a bit. And I'm good to go. Nothing in color grading, no. The skin is perfect for me. This is what I saw when I was shooting. I don't need to face anything. The makeup artist did a really good job on their skin. Just foundation. No eyelash, no eyebrow, no whatever colors they add. So from here, edit with Photoshop CC. Alright. Please pay attention on this one. Mint. Are you sure you're paying attention?
Why mint? Why mint?
No, it's mint condition. Alright, so you guys can have a copy of this with these layers, then you continue from where I ended. Let me just close this. Now let's go to this. Alright. So first things first, duplicate the layer, blemish removal, then we're going to go.
Fast forward.
Yep.
Why do you first remove the blemish? What else you can do than the frequency separation?
I like to work on a clean image. I don't really, well, I used to love frequency separation because it made the work easier. But the more you edit, the more you see, like I said, build your creative library, the more you see nice images online, the more you realize some people don't use frequency separation. Frequency separation, well, although you can naturally, you can naturally edit with frequency separation, using dodging and bending sometimes keeps it very, very natural. For example, this image, I have so take a look at this and this. This is just dodging and bend. A whole lot of time was spent on blemish removal because I know I wasn't going to do any frequency separation. You get it? So dodging and bend, you realize if I should put the blemishes there, it's almost the same. The skin texture, how smooth, it's not really smooth, it's as how I saw it when I was shooting. I hope you get it. Alright. So let's hope it beats time. Okay, 5 days. I'm off.
More time, more time.
Mate, are you watching? Trying to just do this as fast as possible, right? So this is not how I would edit a bit if I was sitting alone in my room, because I waste enough time, maybe probably on my phone, and I'll come back. Oh, and whenever you're editing an image, always have, let's say, the end product in your head, how you would want the image to look like. So when I'm editing this picture, right, if I was to be editing this picture in the room, I think I'll go on to one of the people I follow for inspiration on Instagram. I'll look at one of their images that looks as similar as this, and I'll try and achieve that. At the end, I'll even do something, let's say, better than what she did on her page, or maybe I'll be close to what she did on her page, in my own way. I hope you get it. So always have something in mind you're editing towards, and that will actually push you to edit more.
I think that knows.
The guy, big guy, why do you want to do this? A man must be horribly infuriating me.
Put some small second.
So if you shoot, someone hits you up for the shoot, you do all you have to do. And you come and sit there and be doing this. And the person comes back and tell you, oh, my picture looks too fake. Go back down. Alright, so this, I'll leave it here. Alright, so I think I'll take this. Okay, so now let's take a look at this. Hello, hello. So let's take a look at this. You realize her face, let's say the forehead area, or her chin area, and the lip area have two different color tones. Right. This is how you get to fix it. Create a new empty layer, right? Pick your brush tool, or let's go to the eyedropper tool. Change your sample size from point sample to 5x5 average, right? Then select the color by holding Alt on the keyboard and select the preferred color you want on the skin, right? So let's see, I could have done this in CaptureOne, but I want to show you what I do when I do this products in Photoshop. So I'll sample, let's say, close to this. Change the blending mode of the layer from normal to color. Pick my brush. Flow, sometimes I use 2, sometimes I use 5. Let's use 5, because after all, I'll use opacity over here. Then, with a soft brush, as always, I'll paint over where I think I have an issue with. So this is the before and after, right? Before and after. The color is matching that of the skin.
No difference.
You don't see anything. Exactly. It's supposed to be subtle. You're not supposed to see it, but it's there. I don't know if you see it here because I'm seeing it here. So look at this. It's before, right? And after. So that's the subtlety you need to have in your images when you're retouching or editing them. You get it? Even with this, I'll still reduce my opacity. Somewhere 40 is okay for me. I'll merge these two. Hold Control on the keyboard, select the two layers you want to merge. Hold Control and E, and it merges the two layers for you. So, to be fast in Photoshop, please learn your shortcuts. It really helps when you're editing. So, I think I'm cool with the blemish remover. What I'm take some couple more out. That. Alright, so let's do frequency separation because of time. That's advanced frequency separation. With this, with 14 is okay for me. But I want to keep the textures as natural as possible. I'll go 16. And that's okay. You don't really need this. This is what you get from the advanced frequency separation. So please remind me to give you the action. If you already have the action, fine, good, thank God. If you don't, you can get the action from either FX3 or you bring a drive with no virus.
You see, this is what happens when you use this Windows machine. If you use Mac, you don't care for that.
Alright.
Like,
Alright, so let's just come back to let's come back to what we're doing. So I picked the mixer brush, same settings as I was using in the earlier image. Increase, zoom in, right? This is how I'm zooming in. Please don't work at this way. No one is going to zoom in your picture. Maybe when you bring it to me, I'll zoom in this way. But on Instagram, nobody has your time. All they have to see, the image is nice, fine, move and go. Alright, so please zoom out to how you think you post it on Instagram, right? This is okay for me. Now, I'll target the forehead, the chin area, and the nose. On the low frequency edit, I try and fix the light patches on the forehead. So this is the before and after. Before and after. I can see the change to be too drastic. I don't like this Gaussian blend used for this frequency separation. I'll delete it and I'm going to another one. So let's see. Let's go with 14. Alright, so same settings. Try and follow the pattern on the face whenever you're retouching to regain separation and mix a brush. Because that's what you saw, and that was what got your attention. That's why you selected that image to edit. So, follow it. Try and fix this side. This is the before and after. Before and after. Let's fix this. Alright, before and after. Let's see this. Alright, so I'm done fixing the light patches on the face. Well, there are lots to be fixed. I'll use dodging and bending. Then I'm cool with this. Now with the lasso to feather thing, like I said, please use them by force. Sample, filter, blade, Gaussian blade, and 7.5. Half the initial Gaussian blade. Apply it. This is before and after. I'm not okay with this, so I add the dodging and bending. The dodging and bending, I showed you guys how to create that. I already have an action for that. That's my personal action. So you can create your own action. It's that simple. I'm going to go pick the brush, flow of 2. I'll work on the dodge. So there are 2 ways to do this. You can either split the screen, right? Like I said, when you are posting on Instagram, no one is going to see the image zoomed in this way. Everyone will probably see it this way, right? So I'll split the screen into 2, whereby I have the bigger version, the zoomed in version, and I have this version. So with that, you go to Window, Arrange, a new window for that. So you have 2 tabs for the same image. Go back to Window, Arrange, and 2 up vertical. So this is what I have. I have the zoomed in version here and the zoomed out version this way. So if I want to work on the zoomed in version, I don't really have to have my zoom in here and do this, right? I can do everything I want here. And look at, so this will be my reference. The one to the right will be my reference. So whatever mistake I'm doing here, I'll see it here. So with the dodge, try and fix this up. the frequency separation, right? With the dodging and bending to follow the same pattern. Follow the pattern on the face, right? So you realize somewhere around the forehead, there's the highlighted part, which is protruding outside the head, and you have the shadowy part, which is actually going inside the head. So with that, sometimes you realize there's too much shadow somewhere here, and there's less shadow somewhere here. What you can do is soften the one with too much shadow to make it look like the neighboring skin where it's less shadow. You understand? Sorry, you understand?
Yeah.
Yes, and with that too, when you have too much highlights and with another section with less highlights, you can choose to brighten the one with the less highlights, or you can choose to darken the one with the too much highlights. That's what I term as skin matching or corrective dodging and bending or micro dodging and bending. I hope you guys get it. Yes. So basically, let me turn on the helper. If I toggle between this, take a look at this side of the eye, the eyebrow. You realize this side has more light than the surrounding skin. So when I toggle on and off the bend, right, you realize what it's closer to its surrounding skin now than before. I hope you guys get it. That's what skin matching or corrective dodging and bending is all about. So you bend your highlights and you dodge your shadows. I hope you get it. Great. Any question?
You can't fix that with the brush. Like
With the
eye
brush?
dropper. No, the eye dropper.
No. This has to do with lightness, not color. You get it? Okay. So let me. You see how when I was showing you guys how to create that black and white layer for the dodging and bending, you can use that to check color. I don't know if you see it. So this is the lip area. You realize the lip has a different color. This is the skin. And to the skin, this is the shadowy part of the skin. That means what? Less color. Right. The one with the most highlights will have no color there. So too much shadow, too much highlights, no color. In between highlights and shadow, then you realize the color is there. So I don't know if you can see this range of color is different from this range of color. So let me toggle this one off. Exactly. So this range of color is different from this range of color. I hope you get that argument. So dodging and bending, you're fixing the lightness, the light on the skin. You're not fixing the color. If you want to target the color, create a new layer, change the blending mode to color, sample the paint over with the flow of 2 or 5. And it works for you. Or you can use hue and saturation layer. You circle or you sample that area you want to work on. Then use your hue to target the color you think you want there. And go to go. Yes. I think it's about to go. Alright. So back to you. And please, when you are editing, gather attention. When you are editing, right, and you're wasting enough time on the edit, don't stay behind the machine for too long. Edit. When you're tired, get up, go do whatever you have to do, come back to the same image. You will realize that you think you were doing whatever it is that was best for the image. Believe me, you'll be doing something shitty. It's not even worth your time. So take breaks when you're retouching. When you want to waste time on a particular edit, do take breaks. 5 minutes break, 10 minutes break. Take your eye off, you bring it back, you realize there's some parts you have to fix. Keep that in mind. turn the helper off. And let's see a pick before and after. Before and after. Hope you guys get this. So this is even with the help of frequency separation. Now imagine no frequency separation. That's a whole lot of play. You guys know when you are introducing more light to a particular area, you are actually increasing the saturation too. Do you have any idea about that?
No.
Alright, so let me turn this one back. Let me turn back. This to luminosity, right? And let me show you something. Look at the cheek area. Alright, so I don't think you can see this. I think I'll give you a better example. When I toggle between the lightings on the skin, take a look at this area. This area.
Yeah.
This area. Before and after. Right. So when you introduce more light to a particular part of the skin, which there's not supposed to be any light over there, it increases what? The saturation over there. But when you burn it, it doesn't really do anything to it. When you add more light to a particular part of the image where there isn't supposed to be any light over there, so you are forcibly adding the light over there. It adds more saturation. Yes.
Okay, so when I'm doing corrective building and burning, is that currently corrective to be dodging
Yes.
glass?
Yeah.
So that means I'm introducing saturation.
Yes, so I'm actually introducing saturation to wherever the glass are, but I build on it. I'm using a flow of 2, not 100. Not like the earlier curve I created. With this curve, you realize I've pushed in more of the brightness than the one I'm using here. So take a look at these 2 curves. This is what I use for the demonstration, and this is what I'm using to actually correct the skin patches in the image. So with this, obviously you will get to apply, let's say, some part of the image, you apply the 2 times 50, so giving you the 100% flow, right? When you have that problem, normally the saturation attacks the reds in the image. So all you have to do is take a hue and saturation layer, right? Clip it onto the dodging and bending, the corrective one, the dodge you actually working with. Let me turn off this black and white. I pick my color, right? Select where you think you are seeing more saturation at. Will obviously be the reds, then reduce the saturation. So you realize that wherever you have introduced light with more brushing, actually has less saturation now. That's how you get to fix it when you introduce light. Together with saturation. I was thinking about that. Yes. Any other question? So normally I finish with everything before I introduce the HSO. Because you get to realize when you're retouching a dark skin model, you actually see what I'm talking about. You realize the reds there are more saturated than the surrounding skin color. Although you fix the patches and all that, but you realize the saturation is more than that of the surrounding skin color. So that's where you introduce the hue and saturation layer, and you clip that onto the dodge. Normally it's the dodge that's helping you fix, and the bend is just some small patches on the skin. Any question, please?
Shared some for the rest. Share the rest of this one. Retouch.
You wanted high-end edits, so please, yes, please.
Please, I want to find out, when you are retouching an image like this, and how you retouch it, do you have like a general rule that's specific, or you retouch it based on what you want? Because let's say, after you retouch this image, someone may, another photographer may take the image and start pointing out mistakes that maybe you didn't see. So it's like retouching is your personal like preference. That's why you use it to retouch things. So let's say you set to release some things, you decide to smoothen out some parts, like it's your personal preference or
So personally to me, when I'm trying to retouch an image, I keep everything as natural as possible. So if there are 5 stars on the face, I'll leave the 5 stars on the face. Right? So obviously the photographer is pointing out the mistakes you have in your image. They point out what they think they see. So when they point it out to you, obviously, when you're retouching, you didn't see them. Like I said, you can be editing an image for close to, let's say, 2 to 3 hours, and you literally didn't take some breaks. You come back to the image and you realize there's some mistakes in there, which the photographer is pointing out. You just go back and fix it. But I think retouching is to your preference. But earlier I mentioned that you should have an end image in your head, what you're editing towards. You get it. So when I'm to edit this particular image, whilst I'm editing, I actually didn't look at any image I want to edit towards, but I know I have to retouch for it to look like great for you guys to see what's version I'm in or what frequency separation is all about. But if I was to be in my room sitting down editing this alone, I have a reference image I think I want to edit towards. Either I'm editing better than what I saw, or I want to achieve what I think I saw on the person's page. I hope you get it. So let's take Photoshop. Photoshop has good images on his page, right? I don't know if he has 2 or 3 images, but I know there's 1 page. So if I want to retouch a very close-up image, maybe I shot an image as close as this, and I realize he has even textures on the skin, I'll try and achieve that even texture on the skin. You get it? I have my way of editing where I keep it as how I saw it when I shot it. All I have to do is just fix the light on the person's skin and I'm good to go. Someone might say something, so I want to edit like how Joey edited the picture. Obviously, the person would want to edit more than I did, or maybe get close to how I did it. So always have an end product image in your head, how you want it to look like when you edit towards it. At the long run, when that photographer comes back to tell you that, oh, this and that and that, you can actually see the mistakes. You fix them. You bring it back and the person points out again. Just give the image to the person, let him edit. Yes, obviously he wants to edit. He wants you to be. He's trying to let the image be perfect. And so give it to the person, let the person edit. You get it? If it's not that nice for you, please take it. Show me what you mean, and I edit towards how you edited the picture. So if you can't edit it like how I edited it, then please keep quiet. Although you're editing towards your client's preference, photographers, they have their input, and actually that input helps. You get it? You might think you didn't miss out on anything, but sometimes you miss out a lot, and they will pinpoint it out to you, then you fix it, you bring it back, I give you the same problem, give it to them, let them edit. And let them teach you how to edit the picture. Yes. Alright. So I think I'll just end here with the skin match, because if I want to really take time, we'll use the whole time over here and we wouldn't do anything. Hey, mate. Okay. Alright. So this is before skin matching and after skin matching. It's not that perfect, but it's okay. You get it. You can do more. You can choose to do more, or you can choose to go with this. So let's do a total before and after, the whole thing. So this is the before, and this is the after. Right? I'm smoothing the skin. But you get to see your textures in the image. It's not that plastic. It looks natural as possible. All I did here was to fix how the lights fall off was on the models of the skin. Hope you guys get it. Yeah, so basically, this is what we are looking out for. Alright, so we are done with the skin matching and the global dodging and bending. So with the global dodging and hello. With the global dodging and bending, as I was saying earlier, dodge your highlights, bend your shadows. Right? Skin matching, corrective dodging and bending. You dodge your shadows, you bend your highlights. That is you fixing the skin with light. So this is the before and that's the after. Right? Before, after. I hope you get to see the difference in there. So as natural as possible. You keep every texture you needed in there and it still stays the same. Just that you fix the lighting on the skin. How do you guys get it? So from here, global dodging and bending. The same brush, but this time around with a flow of 4. So corrective has 2, global has 4. Depending on how late you want your dodging to be, or how harsh you want it to be, or how fast you are geared towards ending the retouch. Yes. So I have a whole lot of time on my hand because it's normally my personal project week. Nobody uses 5 hours to edit a client's week. Just me. So, yeah. Nobody uses 5 hours. You really want to finish the thing and go your way. That is your own personal project. You want to waste time because you know you've done your best and you want people to see what you can do. Alright, that being said, let's dodge the highlights. And bend the shadows. Alright, so this is basically what you have to go through using dodging and bending. So from here you whiten your teeth, your eyes, you brighten them, however you go. So you can actually dodge and bend the eye too. Right? I like shooting with a lot of catch lights in the eye. It makes it look nice. So you brighten this, and brighten that. So this is the before and after. Take a look at the catch lights in the eye, before and after. So dodging and bending is not restricted to only the skin. You can use it to fix these small patches in the eye. I know people use what blemish removal to take it off. But you can use dodging and bending to fix this. Right. It takes a whole lot of time. So to do that, create a curve, pick the hand tool over there. When you send the eyedropper tool over there, you realize it gives you where that particular dark spot is on the curve. So when I increase this, right, this goes way up this way. And I have this. Don't be scared. Invert the layer, take your brush, same flow of 2, then you build up on that blemish. So you realize the color is still the same. You pick the hue and saturation layer, click it on that, pick this, and reduce the saturation. So let's see, before and after, right? You can use the blemish remover to take this off, depending on what you want. You can use those in the bend to also do this. So those in the bend, I literally use it to do everything by Photoshop. You can dodge and bend the outfit you're wearing, that's to iron it. For example, this. Take a look at this outfit, take a look at that. It looks iron, dodging and bending. You get it? This and that. I actually ironed this. I didn't come out nice. So I had to do further ironing in Photoshop using dodging and bending. That's a whole lot of time. So if you don't get anything here, at least you should know with corrective dodging and bending, all you have to do is dodge your highlight, dodge your shadows, bend your highlights. It's all about matching the different lightness on the particular image you're editing. Any questions, please? So let's just go to whitening the teeth. I hope I've explained myself well with the dodging and bending and with the frequency separation too. So let's just finish this edit. Whitening the teeth. First, you pick your hue and saturation layer. You want it to look as natural as possible, not too white and not too original. In between white and original. Right, so you pick this. And you go into the eye, right? Some people have different colors in their eyes. It's very interesting. They have blues. I'm not talking about the pupil. This white, this thing over here. Some people have blue. Ghanaians, I know Ghanaians have yellow and red and black in it. So you pick this hand tool over there. You select. There are yellows in it. Reduce the saturation. Obviously, you reduce every saturation. So let's go to rest. I'll reduce the rest saturation. Greens, cyan, blue, magenta. You never know. Invert this, then I have this here. Then I add what's next to white? Blue. You know the color blue is next to white, right? So I'll add a photo filter of blue. Right, I'll invert this. Now I want to brighten the eye. Most of the time some people have dark eyes, depending on lighting situation you use. So curve, then I'll bump up this a little bit. Now invert it. So basically I have to paint white on the mask to reveal whatever it is I have there, right? So I just group these three. Sorry. Let me just invert this back because when I paint here, I'll have to paint the same thing here and the same thing here. So you invert this and this back to its original stage. Group these three. Hold shift on the keyboard, the last layer. Control chain on the keyboard or command chain or whatever it is on Mac. Group them. Hold Alt on the keyboard. And there is a mask. Down here. And everything comes back to this. Right? And I'll pick my brush, blue of 100. Then I'll paint all over the eye. So it looks too white. You need a saturation. And I'm in between original and white. So not too fake, not too original, in between. You get it. This problem over here, this dark spot over here, you can use dodging and bending to fix that. So everything, you should breathe with dodging and bending. It's very helpful. So with the D2, the same layer, I just paint over. So you realize this is the before and that's the after. You don't really see the difference, but you've whitened the teeth and the eyes. You get it? So that's keeping it natural, the Photoshop way. Yes,
Question. Please, let's go to the frequency separation.
Okay.
Let me see that. Oh, no, click on it. No, expand it. The high frequency, whatever.
Yep.
That one, you didn't touch it for us.
Yes. Normally, you will actually go do the blemish removal there. When you think you can use the healing brush tool on this layer for your blemish removal, just create a frequency separation layer, right? And do your blemish removal here on the high frequency edges. But I don't really have any blemish removal here, so I just don't touch it at all. Right? Yes. So I have my eyes fixed, eyes whitened. Now, I don't have any problem again with this. But I want to increase, how should I say, add some color to this. Grade the image in Photoshop. I didn't do any grading in CaptureOne, right? So if I don't do it in CaptureOne, I'll come and do it here in Photoshop. Normally, with blacks, right? What color complements black? The color black. Don't tell me white. That's white. What other color? Green. Right, so let's try adding indigo, blue, and green. So let's try adding green and we'll add blue to it. So red. Alright, so let's add blue or green into the blacks. With that, you would want to selectively add some colors to some specific parts of the image. There's the color balance, which will do a perfect work for us. But we want to selectively, right? And in Photoshop has provided us with a particular tool named what? Selective color. I hope you are all aware of selective color.
Yes.
So with selective color, I'll target what? The blacks. And cyan, magenta, yellow, black. CMYK. Have you guys heard of CMYK?
Yeah.
Yes. Printing format. So CMYK. The opposite of cyan is red. Magenta is what? Green. Yellow is what? Blue. Black is black. Okay, white. Alright. So we want to add what? Some blues. No, we started with green, right? Some should add greens into the blacks. So let's see if the green.
Is this in reference to this?
No. To the blacks.
Okay.
Let's do the green and see if it works. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, we're all experimenting. So, like I said, opposite of magenta is what's green. So, let's add some greens. This is how adding greens to it looks like. Not too interesting. Let's add some magenta to it and see. This is how it looks. Some will keep it this way. I'm not interested in this. This is too magenta-ish for me. Already now, let's take out the magenta in the image. You want me to add some. So blacks. Let's play around the blues. Now see what the blue does. The blue complements the blacks there. When you look at editorial images from, let's say, outside Ghana, the foreign countries, mostly you see either magenta, green, red, or blues in the blacks. You realize the hair is all bluish. This is how they selectively add these colors to the image. Right? So the selective color purposely targets the colors you think you see in the image and to attack it for you. Please never try neutral. No, neutral is probably the whole image. Is what it does. Is what it does. So this looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep it that way.
And this is also a learning curve for me because I'm now trying neutral. I was like, don't try it. But I'm trying it now. This looks cool. Right, so we added some blues in the blacks, and we added some yellows in the neutral. With this, I just reduce the saturation, the opacity, and we have this. Right? So grading is not anything hectic, where you think the person, no. Some people intentionally pack up the layers. They want to scare you. Grading, you can use just one layer to grade, sometimes two, depending on what you want to the image. With this, I think I'm okay with this. I'll leave it this way. But let's play more. Let's add another selective color, right? Go into the white. Normally, I like adding blues in my white. It makes the skin looks nicer. It makes the image looks more appealing. But the best situation to use to add blues into your white is when you are retouching or editing dark skin model. But when you add blues to a dark skin model or quote unquote a melanin model, which have been corrected, the fair skin person also has melanin. You know that. So fair melanin. Trust me, I have some weird friends. Okay, so she's a fair melanin, right? So I add some blues into the white. So let's see how it works. Wait, blues, the right? This is how blues into the white. And if you're wondering where the whites are, they are highlighted areas of the images where the white is supposed to be at. Right? So you won't really see it here. But it was to be a dark melanated black African woman. Alright, so I think with this, I'm good with the grading. I don't really have to do much. Mostly, personally, me, when I'm retouching and I'm grading the image, I use a selective color or the ingredients map. Here, in this case, the makeup was great, the skin tone is great. I don't really have to use the ingredients map in there. Then the selective color, clear along with the available colors in the image, then boom, you're good to go. Looking at this, when I go back and I'm going to retouch the remaining pictures, I think I'll copy this grading. So you can, you realize some people can grade images with the same kind of grading, right? This is what they do. After this, just and put it down. They open the next image, edit, just drag and put it into the next image. That means when you put it on there, you are grading the same image with the same kind of color and all that. Provided your lighting setup is still the same. The colors you edited in the previous picture is still the same. I hope you get the difference. Yes, please. So from here, what we have to do is sharpen the image. I won't sharpen this. I shot this at f8. I have too much textures. I don't need sharpening. And I think I'm done. Any question, please? Yes, please. The gradients mapping. Alright, so with the gradients mapping, this is what you do when your model's face is different from that of her skin. Right? We are looking at, they painted their face because they wanted their face to look nicer than their skin. So when you want to pick up the color, you pick it from where the makeup is. Right, so the face. And with the gradient map, it's mainly what? Shadow and highlights. So to the left, when I was editing in the CaptureOne, you realize we had levels, the blacks and the whites. So you should always put this in mind. In Photoshop, this side is the blacks, which is the shadows, and this side is the white, which is what? The highlights. So when you want to attack some parts with certain colors, you know where to put such color, and you know where to put the other color too. So this is for explanatory purposes. Let me delete this. So if I want to use the gradient map here, I'll pick up my eyedropper tool, or even with my brush, I'll just hold Alt on the keyboard and my eyedropper tool comes. Right. This is what I do. I pick a nice color in the shadowy areas. And most of the times I pick it somewhere closer to the cheeks. Right. So I pick, let's say, not too dark, not too bright a shadow, in between the shadow. Let's say here, that's good for me. Change from background to foreground. I have white now. Now I'll pick the part of the face with more light. I want to go and pick the highlighted areas. And I won't go and pick the shadow areas again. I'll pick in between the highlights and the shadows, which is what? The midtones. Right? So I pick in between and I'm good to go here. I turn this back because I want what? The gradient map to pick the shadowy part to the left and the highlighted part what? To the right. So when I tap on the gradient map, you realize this is what I get. So this is the darkest part. In between is the midtone. And to the farthest part is what? The highlighted areas. With this, change the blending mode from normal to color. This is what you get. If you want to intensify the colors on the skin, duplicate that and change the second one from color to soft light. Now I have this. I'll group the two, create a black mask, right? Pick my brush, flow 100%, pretending or taking into consideration that the skin is different from the makeup on the face. I just paint what over the skin, right? And underneath the neck, and I'll reduce the opacity. So now let's do a quick before and after. Before and after. You get to see it. So if you have a problem with makeup, and please don't go and pick any other makeup, but pick good makeup artists, those who know how to blend. And if you don't know how to blend, you have a whole lot of problem with that. And those who know their colors too. Alright. So if they do a very good job on the face and maybe they forget the skin, you can come and do that here in Photoshop. But some too take into consideration the skin color and they do the makeup for you. Right. So if you have a problem, this is how you fix it. Sometimes you can choose to go all over the image with the same color. So you get to realize this is not the color you started with, but this is the color you're ending with. Right. Right now you have changed, or you literally don't want the color the makeup artist gave you. You want to tone it in a way that you saw the image, you saw the model when he or she came in and you were shooting him or her. I hope you get it. So with this, you realize it's affecting the eye too. So black, go over to the eye, paint away. And some makeup artists add colors around the eyeshadow, paint away. Don't let it touch the lips. Then we've toned the image, so this is before and that's after. Any question, please? Yes.
How much do you charge for
How much do I charge for what?
Give me your first and
Trust me. How will you feel if you sit down 5 hours there this one?
Well, I feel I've put in enough.
So how much will you charge for it?
I should pay enough. But
Yes. let's not be paid enough for
This guy.
such words. But the more you practice, the more fast you become with these kind of edits. Then I think under 30 minutes an hour, you will probably be done with like 2 or 3 or 4 edits. 30 minutes or an hour, I didn't say 30 minutes, Alright, so before you leave, please have in mind with close-ups, you have to have patience when you're editing. Always have in mind an end product image in your head, which you are gearing towards. With far-off images, there's no need for frequency separation. Do your dodging and bend, your corrective dodging and bend, color correction, and you're good to go. Grading is all around selective color balance or gradient map. Yes, depending on the mood you're looking at. And you shouldn't be so much concerned about colors. Too much color destroys an image. Less color destroys an image. Be in between. There are filters vintage photos where you realize someone can shoot outside with blue sky as far. The end product comes and the blue sky has been desaturated and some other colors have been boosted. It's all gradient. You can do that in CaptureOne, you can do that in Photoshop, you can do that in Lightroom. And it's that simple. Retouching is not anything difficult. Please practice more, get images and practice. Not my images though. Go and shoot your images and practice and edit them. Surprise us. Any more questions, please? The raw files. Which one? the one you shot here. Oh, you get them. You get them. Oh, sure. For sure. You get all of them here.
How are we gonna? How we take
Not me. Please ask them.
And they will be posted on the page.
Obviously, they'll put a link out for you guys to download the raw files.
What was the time?
Please.
We keep talking page. Which page? Is it on side or where?
I still don't even know the page yet.
I'm just saying that perhaps a page may be created.
That's already been created.
Yes, we are linked to Google Drive.
So where's it gonna be? Where's it gonna be?
You realize I was telling you to do something? Yes, so I wanted you guys to see how you can use one light and a fill light for shooting. Right. So what one light and a fill light can do is what I showed with this. Just that with this, it was a white background. This is a brown background. So this is what you would get. This is what you get. The background isn't lit, but you can see the background. Here's the one here. So compare this to this. This, the light was over the head that way. This, the light was hitting him that way. Flat, directional. So directional light gives you a whole different kind of mood. You get it. So some people might be wondering how I got this gray, this gray background. It's actually a white background, right? You know white attracts more light and it bounces them off. So what I did was, if this is a white background, the model isn't as close to that background. Maybe the model is sitting here. So the lights fall off and give me a gray background. I hope you get it. So if you're looking for a gray background and you don't have money to go buy a gray background, get a white wall or something. Bring the model as far away from the background, shoot it to your light. The lights fall off and give you a gray background. Any more questions? And the black background, this is what you will see. Do you see any information behind it? So this is the same one light with the reflector. Yes. Color grading. Let me see. I need color grading. So this, because of the yellows around here, eyeshadow and all that, I added some blues. Blue and yellow are like brother and sister. You understand? The opposite, you get it. So just work around it.
Let's see the before. Good.
Let's see. So that's the before, that's the after. Are we good? No more questions. 5:30. All right. Thank you guys for having me. Yeah.
So, are we on? Yes, we are. Also soon, we've come to the end of.
Oh, you got whatever I did here today.
Yes, but the final part will not show us the export, how to export.
Exporting. Wow.
Final
Is it from CaptureOne?
CaptureOne, yes.
How many of you here use CaptureOne? Just a few. So I think, how did you export from Photoshop?
I export from
He decided to sponsor this year. Unfortunately, make sure it saves what you recorded. So I asked him to record his screen so that all that he's done will have a record. You see, Windows, it doesn't happen on Mac. Mac, you don't see app has stopped working, so you don't save. You don't save. See, Windows. You should say you don't save. It was saved so that we can have it. We'll add it to the final video, so you can download it. And then the slides also, both from Catalyst and Daniel's web, we'll have them. So as I was saying, he recognized what we are doing and decided to come on board and then sponsor. He isn't here himself. Are we like? He said it's Yes, so he's not been able to come today, but he's here with us. Also, we are sponsored by Photo Nigeria. Last year, Photo Nigeria sponsored 50 people. This year, he couldn't come. He sponsored in another way. And last year, we gave photo books to, I think, 5 participants, and then all the facilitators. This year we couldn't do that, but he's still sponsored in a way. We got sponsored by Bernard Rentals. He was supposed to be here, but he couldn't come. He rents out studio equipment, cameras, all these things that we use, apart from the backdrop. He rents out everything, so you can get in touch with him. And then iSpace, see where we've been using. It belongs to iSpace. iSpace is a co-working community. You can.
Before, this is where you download the actions. It's free. They have, that's for dodging and bending, they have a lot. The actions are there. It's free and available.
Yes, so iSpace has been with us since we started from 3 years ago. This is the 3rd year. As I said, this happens every year, 21st of September. Next year, we'll try and then have not just one, but mini ones before the main one. And as I said, we can have sessions where we won't have to call you guys in. It will be just a studio like this with just the camera. But then we'll have it live on YouTube, so you guys can watch before we ask you to come here. And then if you have questions and all that, so that we won't have to waste the whole day doing 4 different things. We'll do them on video. Then when we come here, it will be one-on-one, ask questions. You watch them already, so you can ask related questions. And if there's something you think you should try your hands on, then so we can have maybe 4 hours here just for shooting. And that's all. 5 hours just for retouch. But I believe you like what happened, but you wish it could go longer. But as you can tell, so we still have to close So hopefully we'll see you again next year, 21st. But before then, we'll see you, online, live, and all that. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So that's where this video will be, so you can just download it. And if you're in the WhatsApp, the shop, good. If you are not in the group, okay. Just the official page for this is the shop_Ghana on Instagram. If you go there, the WhatsApp link will be in the bio. So just tap on it and then you can join the group. For now, I think it's the registration link. So after today, we will change the link to the WhatsApp group link. So when you tap on, go there. That's where we share everything, the slides and all other material, info, everything. So just make sure you join the group. And then everything. Anybody has any major, not related to what any of them, but something, a general, you are limited. You can't ask a question. Sit down. Your head is blocking. Yeah, the pictures, the raw pictures will be uploaded also, and the link will be shared in the group. So make sure you join the one so that you can try your hands on, post, and then the account will repost it for other people to see what you've been able to achieve from the workshop. So, anybody has any major question? I beg, I can't pirate. I'm not a pirate. So, the website gives 1 month free trial, full version. So you can download it. If you like it, buy it. Camera. You know what to do. So, if you like it, just buy it. It's some few dollars, about $100 or $150. I mean, as creatives, if you're making that much, I mean, $150 times 5, you should be able to invest in that. Assuming your clients want your pictures for free, will you give it to them? No. So somebody coded that software. So just pay for the software so they can get money and then bring out more. Give our last question.
We spend like 9 to 5 here, and then you give us this food.
Which one? The food you give us. Don't worry. Next year you will pay 100 cedis. And we'll save you twice. Are we okay with that?
Yeah, okay.
Are we okay?
No,
the thing is, this year we should have gone 100 cedis, but we decided to maintain 50. Everything went up.
Yeah.
But we decided to maintain. The aim is not to charge you guys. Eventually, this whole thing is going to be free. Once it's family sponsored, you just come, learn, and go. That's what I have for this shop. Not for you to be paying. I don't want your money. Just come, learn.
I want your money.
Just make the price come early.
No, I don't. Next time there might even be no price.
Oh, okay.
You might just come. But in case that doesn't happen, you will have to pay $100. So we can increase. Maybe add some asana and so and stuff.
You have to pay because come early. Right.
Okay, all right. So thank you guys for coming. We'll see you again. We are officially closed. So if you have an announcement, just network around and then see them. And also, those who want the canvas, please.
Don't worry.
See Loretta, I'll give you a number.
Orders for the week.
Yes, he has
500
Mr. Canvas, promo sign. Promo price.
500.
For double sign.
500. 6 by 12.
500.